Hey guys, just watched the first episode of True Detective Night Country last night. I have to say that I went into this, I was going to say cautiously optimistic, but I'll just say cautiously cautious. I mean, on one end of the spectrum, you have the creator who said that she is a very big fan of The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, and, you know, the whole Alaska setting during the 30 Days of Night, this little town of Ennis, Alaska, really sets the stage for that quite beautifully, I think. She is a big fan of the other seasons of True Detective, and she was really trying to go for that vibe. Those good feelings about the show were also kind of balanced. There was a lot of talk of, how the first few seasons of True Detective were really dude-centric. Obviously have two women take the helm and to focus a little bit on like the disappearances that actually do happen of like a lot of native tribes out that way. The thing that sucks is objectively that's not a bad idea, but I can't help but have alarm bells go off in my head because, I refuse to use the term woke anymore. We're going to call it segregationist. They pretend to be something unifying, but they have the polar opposite effect by design. I'm happy to report that at least for the first episode, I cannot speak for the entire season. We still have, I believe, 5 more episodes coming out, okay? But at least for the first episode, they nailed it. There's a crime from the past of an indigenous woman who was killed, and Agent Navarro, that's sort of her like big beef with Agent Danvers or Detective or Lieutenant Danvers, whatever the hell. And I like that dynamic. I like that Russ and Cole dynamic, that you have these two ladies that are both good police in their own right. Well, they're good at their job for all the flaws in their character, but they do not like each other at all. I love that they maintained that. They maintained the spirit of True Detective. This one, at least from the opening episode, does lean a little bit more into the supernatural, which honestly I kind of like. That was always the element that like I liked about the first season of True Detective. And even honestly, even the third season, like the way it ends, all I could think of, barring spoilers, was, is this a time as a flat circle kind of a thing? Is everything going to start again from the beginning? And I always liked that element, that it sort of like borders on the supernatural, and you're kind of like, wow, is there like something to this? It just feels like otherworldly. And that with all the philosophical conversation between the main characters, the two ladies running the show, I mean, it's Jodie Foster, of course, she's awesome. She actually referred to herself in an interview as like a Karen, like an Alaska Karen or something like that, which, given the dialogue, I guess you could decipher, but Jodie Foster is just such a great actress that it's not like they're hammering you over the head with any type of point. She's very natural, so she's just her character with her flaws. I feel like things are almost kind of like stagey nowadays to like push certain points, but that's the thing. Like any points or subtext that this show has, at least in the first episode, okay, remains subtext. It is a mystery first and foremost, and that is what makes it interesting. The characters are three-dimensional. They are absolutely not perfect. The concept of all these environmental scientists disappearing from this lab, just up and disappearing one day, very, very much like The Thing vibes. And there are hints of ghosts potentially. Like, is it a ghost? Is it a vision? What is it? You don't know. The episode doesn't really answer all that much. It ends about where I kind of expected it to, but I mean, that's a good thing. And I love it. I mean, I really hope that it continues this way because I'm really interested to see this kind of unfold. And I'm really excited to see if they tie it in with the first season of True Detective, because season 3 basically confirms that all of this is happening in the same kind of universe. It's not just like a different story every time. And there is mention of that cult. There are Easter eggs in this. At one point you see a bottle of Lone Star. There's another point where Jodie Foster is going through like the photograph evidence, and she's got it in sort of like a spiral, like that cult. So I do think that it's going to tie in. Honestly, if this show continues the way this first episode was, I say go ahead, sign on Issa Lopez for another season. Personally, and this is just me. Actually, you know what? A lot of fans out there might probably feel this way. I really hope that in the last season of True Detective, they bring back Russ and Cole. Maybe not for like the whole thing, but for like a chunk. Maybe for like a good episode, like they get a chunk of it where they just get to be Russ and Cole. I would absolutely love that. That would be like the best kind of fan service imaginable. So again, I cannot speak for the entire show, nor will, I'm not going to go episode by episode by episode. I'm not going to do that, okay? This video is more or less to anybody out there who might have had the same concerns that I did. I would say if you're a fan of True Detective, go for it, man. I really don't see you being disappointed with this. I will review the entire season once it finishes, hopefully. The funny irony, the irony in all this is we had like just canceled our HBO Max because we weren't like using it enough to justify paying for it. Actually, I believe as of today it's canceled. So we have to re-up it so that I can continue watching True Detective. But yeah, when the show is over, I will review the whole thing. But for anybody who is maybe a little bit concerned, I will say that at least by episode 1, it appears that they have the right idea, and you will probably be pleasantly surprised by this. Anyway, guys, that's all she wrote.